Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Mark. I used to be a baritone by the internet definition of I couldn't belt high notes, right? I'm not saying in case someone's like, you were never a baritone because your voice doesn't sound like dark enough, deep enough. Well, then you have the correct definition actually, because at some point they confused operatic voice classifications like, heroic tenor, dramatic baritone, which is talking mostly about the timbre, right? They switched it to okay, it's because you can't go higher than this note. You should settle for that. So that's a whole mess on its own. I talked about it on this other video. So I'm not saying my timbre changed or anything, but the full story, that this is what this video is about, I guess. My story going from that, which was so frustrating, into singing Linkin Park songs. First, I remember what it was like 4 years ago. Recently, I would sometimes be having like a seriously good vocal day, and I was like, there's no way I am not belting like an A4. I was doing like silly little Freddie Mercury sort of like vocal improvs on my room, right? And I was like, holy shit, that was like an A4, right? Wrong. I will go check on my app or whatever on the phone. It was an F sharp 4. If I had like a very good vocal day, I could get like a G4, right? But most of the times it was flat because my voice was like so settled. Like, this is the highest note you can do on your originally powerful M1 voice, chest voice. I literally didn't even think mixed voice could be falsetto, which it is, of course, because on the internet, which I got all the courses, did all the YouTube coaching, yada yada yada, they were always like, it's something in between. It's like a blend of the two. All these words implying mixing. So I literally remember thinking, like, if I just concentrate hard enough, I'm gonna get it. Like, but that technically speaking for me implied like carrying my M1 chest voice and usually like trying to make it lighter, trying to work with it in some way that allows me to go higher, which was also simultaneously all the advice that I got was in that direction. Like, open your mouth differently, do this other thing, change the resonance, change the placing. So I was doing all those things to try to counter for the fact that I literally couldn't go any higher. And yes, every once in a while you're going to find that if you do like I remember like if I did like a metallic very different sound, it's like I could extend my range like one semitone. So I was like, okay, I guess like yeah, but it doesn't sound good also. It doesn't even feel like my voice. Like, yeah, I could get my M1 to go a little higher, but it's just weird, like I don't know, like some weird noises that some vocal coaches do. So it was so frustrating. Like, I remember like seeing the advancement, right? Like, okay, I got one more semitone. I'm belting like a G sharp 4, say, but then like in the back of my mind, it's like, but I want to sing D5s, like Freddie Mercury or something like that. So it was like, this is still not enough, and it's still not even consistent. So how am I supposed to sing it live or something? Now, when I promote my technique, I am like, oh, it's so consistent, like it's just a perk. But in reality, I'm lucky that it is, because I'm just like OCD, maybe even. Like, I hate if I'm not like basically sure that it's going to come out. There is some margin for error in true mixed voice, but like still, it's not the same as what I remember, which was like I was always going flat because of straining, trying to pull up M1. Voice cracks. Literally, that's not a thing on mixed voice. The worst thing that can happen on mixed voice is like your voice is too thin. You would have wished it was more powerful. Your voice can still get tired. I mean, just look at Chris Cornell, Axl Rose, whatever. Like, it's not magic, but holy shit, I mean, I guess the contrast with the other previous technique is just, it makes it seem like perfect, like divine. Divine consistency. And this contrast really connects me to the other thing that I realized is like, because I was carrying such a powerful, dark, rich sound all the way up, then teachers just assume like you have to keep carrying that because, hey, let's be honest, it sounds good, right? Don't let go into falsetto. But like, I only started improving once I let go into falsetto, and trying to find something from there. So that's how my mixed voice journey originated. I read a scientific study that said laryngeal mechanisms cannot be mixed. That was the foundation for my first course. And I asked my opera teacher, who now sadly passed away. He was amazing. He had amazing intentions in heart, and he was an amazing singer, but I think he was like a natural singer mostly. So he didn't go through these problems, so he obviously couldn't help you with it, like, or me with it, or anyone, like, which is the whole problem with vocal coaching in general. This foundation is missing. I asked him, could you try, like, can you do your operatic C5, which is like the chestiest sound of all time. I mean, I thought it was chess, right? You had to keep carrying the F sharp 4, you become like Superman, like some sort of superhero, and you reach the C5 if you go to the gym enough, the vocal gym, that's what I thought. And he could make it appear from falsetto, this loud, massive, powerful sound from falsetto. I was like, okay, so this changes absolutely everything. From then on forward, he didn't coach me anymore, he moved countries. But I was already determined in a way, like, I'm going to do everything on my own, because clearly no one can help me. Like, it's like I'm on my own. So I kept going with like the studies, and then I was like trying to make things happen from falsetto. Slowly, some of the advice that they gave me, I could apply into falsetto, but like not really that much. So then one day, you could say, I'm testing my voice or whatever, and I do some in my mind. I let go when I'm going for a high note. I let go, right? So I let go fully into falsetto, and suddenly, because I didn't overthink it, I think the sound was really loud and powerful. I was like, was that falsetto? Like, I was checking, Then I realized, of course, you can always check if something is either M2 or M1. You can dial back the intensity and you check. I was like, holy fuck. But it was like this very inconsistent, almost isolated case of a vocal line that I could do with mixed voice. I remember I was like, oh my god, recorded a lot of times, like ingrain it in your muscle memory. It's because, like, what is that? That you just sang an A4 and it felt easy. Then a few months later, or weeks, I don't even know, I realized, like, it's just falsetto, like, because I was so scared of losing it because of this whole conception that mixed voice is something you find and you lose. You find it, it's there, you can lose it, right? But no, it's ridiculously the opposite. So when I realized that, I was no longer scared. I started testing, like, can I make this appear from falsetto, this new super cool sound that I just made? And yes, absolutely. That's the whole thing about mixed voice. It's so consistent because of that. That's why my favorite thing on this channel that I'm teaching is, like, making appear any sound that I do. I can make it appear from falsetto. Why? I don't know, because first of all, I think that's how you can know it's M2. That's how we can get it, so we're on the same page, so you don't go what I went through, right? But also it builds like ridiculous consistency. I do it all the time, but I was so scared of losing it. I recorded it, I was singing it every day, but it was only that vocal line. Eventually I started realizing, okay, this can go into different places, different vowels, of course, everything, right? All from scratch. And then at some point, I guess I realized this sounds exactly like Axl Rose. I already had distortion in my M1 from practicing subharmonic basing, and it just got distortion. And I was just like, I think if I do the Mickey Mouse sound, which I connected to, I mean, Axl Rose now sounds like Mickey Mouse. That's interesting. I was like, I think if I do it, it sounds like Axl Rose. I had no confidence in anything that wasn't my chest voice. I was totally attached to my chest voice, but I posted the cover of Axl Rose, and it got very positive reviews. In fact, one of them changed me a little bit, because he was like, I thought that was Axl Rose. So I was like, okay, there's something here. But then I was still troubled, because I was like, I don't think anyone would say Axl Rose sang in chest voice, and I wanted to produce things that people consider chest voice, right? So then I had to keep building my confidence from scratch in what I consider to be an illusion. Like, I was tricking everyone, basically. But with Axl Rose, I didn't feel it as much. And then when I go ahead and realize I can kind of sing Man in the Box by Alice in Chains with falsetto, I was like, holy shit, I'm going to get just so many mean comments, like saying, yeah, bro, keep trying, you're not powerful enough. That sounded like falsetto, like, kill yourself, But then I posted a video. Even if I was shaking, I was chopping the best part that I thought because I thought I was tricking everyone, like an imposter syndrome, you know. And the comments again was like, "Holy shit! Why didn't you post the full cover?" Something like all very positive. So those were like the two events that I needed to come out on the other side. Like, okay, guys, falsetto or anything from falsetto can just sound like chest voice. Fuck this! I am confident. So yeah, it took that building of confidence, like coming out of that shell, like am I tricking everyone? And then I made a course saying all those things. I was like, well, this is what helped me, guys. I don't know if this is going to help you. And again, very positive reviews. Some crazy ones like I got in a few days. Like now I can sing whatever I want, which is still hard to process to me. And from there, I got like sometimes I could sing live and I could use the mixed voice, and everyone. I remember even this specific live performance in which I sang both one song in chest voice, kind of pulling it, and one in mixed voice, and I was like, not really thinking about it, but I was like, it's interesting. But looking back, and then everyone just preferred the one that I did in mixed voice, and it was like a chesty mixed voice. I was like, that's interesting. Like everyone complimented that one, and the other one they just didn't talk about. You know, like it's obvious they prefer one. It's like, damn, that's. I think this is the way again. Like, uh, at this point, I'm just totally over my chest voice. I let it go before you realize, because I love singing high songs. I just go like with the softest chest voice that already makes you switch into the M2 mixed voice that I use. So this is the end of my journey now. This is the present moment, and one of my favorite people in this channel has baptized me Mark M2 because well, it is what it is. And I have a program now. It's way more than just the first course. It's like this whole thing about rehabilitating baritones like myself. And that's like crazysinging.com, and I'm constantly improving it. If you want me to help you, if you went through these experiences, I'm sure this will help you. It's very, very effective, fast, you know, like here's a step by step that you can literally do, and I tested 300 times and it always works because I don't want anyone to be as frustrated as I was.